I'm going to post at least 3 times a week on our commitment here, on our story, on what we are building, on our why and how we're going to help people and how we're going to help our own family and how we're going to make a difference. You got to just go do it. Really important part of what we're going to be talking about today. How do I use social media in order to draw people that already know me to me, or people that have met me and I've talked about my deal and they're like, oh, cool, that's kind of interesting. Okay, well, you're a total stranger, so I'm not about to give you money. But how do you get them to follow you on social and then over the next few weeks or few months, see your journey, see what you're doing, have it become real, and now you become like a real person. You go and take them to coffee and all the stuff, and you say, hey, here's our project, here's what we're doing. So it is so important that you use social media. And honestly, I would say at least 3 times a week. You need to be posting at least 3 times a week on your journey, on your story of how you are raising money. And for some of you, like, no big deal, I post 3 times an hour. And some of you are like, dude, I hate posting on social media. It makes me so uncomfortable. That's the way I used to be. I don't like posting on social media, but I have to do it. It's part of my job. And so literally think of it from that perspective. If your business is, I'm going to build my assisted living and I'm going to run this business, but one of the first hurdles in front of me is I got to get an investor, then this is literally part of your job. And sometimes you love parts of your job and sometimes you don't like part of your job. And that just is real life. So just come at it from the perspective of, you know what, I either love this part or I don't like this part at all. But either way, it's got to get done. So give yourself a KPI. Talk to who's your spouse, who's your partner, who are you doing this journey with, and commit to them. Tell them right now. You got to just go and do it. It's not that complicated. You're not going to have a bunch of people hate on you. It's going to be just fine.
You may have a few people hate on you, but that's just part of it.
They're robots anyways. Don't even worry about them. So here is what you post. Okay, really, you are starting here today, right? And you may have already made a commitment to do this. You may be already working on your project, or you may say, you know what, today's the day. I'm going to draw a line in the sand. Today is day 1. I'm going to commit. So here are some of the things that you can go through and talk about why, right? We have our personal experience, your why. You could literally do a post on this at least 1 time, if not 3. Talk about this with your spouse. Here's what we do. I want to take care of people, right? Like my grandma, the first person that we took care of at our own assisted living was my literal grandma, right? Laura placed her grandma. It was a terrible experience. It's part of her why. So just go through and just say, all right, here's what we're doing. I'm putting it out there to the world, all of my friends and family. I'm making commitment. I'm getting uncomfortable. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm just going to, burn the ships and say, we're doing it. We are starting an assisted living. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to screw it up along the way, but we're making a commitment. And then you go and you just keep moving on with your story, right? And you go secret shopping. You got to get into your market research, right? So hit our free trainings. If you want to know what to do, it's on there step by step. So your market research, you are literally going to all the big smelly facilities. You're going to the dinky little RAs. Well, you're showing here's what's out there. You are learning it, and just snap a photo every single time, right? Here is the gross, nasty hallway, right? I've done this myself where it's like this huge long hallway and there was like literally lights falling and like swinging, and it was just out of a horror movie. And I snapped a photo and I'm like, we got to be able to do better than this. And I got so many comments on it, right? All you got to do is show the good and say, hey, you know what? I'm inspired by this. I'm going to do something like this, and then show the bad. Like there's plenty of bad. Like these grandmas are getting neglected and it's horrible and this building is falling down, and I'm going to build something awesome, right? And you could do that for weeks or a month or 2 as you're going and seeing what's out there in your community. And then just share, like, here's my vision. Here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to build this awesome mansion. We have partners all the time that are sharing the photos of our mansion, and they're saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to build Brett and Laura's mansion. It's going to look just like this. It's going to have this gorgeous vaulted ceiling. It's these huge bedrooms. It has these fireplaces in each bedroom. It's awesome, and it's custom, and it's BA. And like, if you're partnering with us, right, feel free, use all the stuff, right? But if you're not, hey, you can take a little bit of inspiration from our stuff, but find places and buildings and care that inspires you and show that, and just explain to people, here's what we want to do. It's going to be like this. And then you keep going through your journey, right? We're going and we talk to the city, and you're doing all of your due diligence. You got to talk to planning and zoning and the fire marshal and the health department and the building department, all those kind of things, right? Every single time you go and snap a photo, go and say, like, I'm here at the planning and zoning, right? I just met with this such and such lady. And did you guys know that I'm looking for the right piece of land? It has to be in such and such zoning, and I'm going to build an assisted living. right? That's a post right there. And then the next day you go and you snap a photo of yourself in front of the fire truck, right? And you're like, hey, I'm meeting with the fire marshal today. We're like, woo, right? And just like, I'm trying to learn all this kind of stuff, and here's what we're doing. And you just show and you share, because it's super important. When you are attracting investors, whether they're total strangers or friends that maybe aren't following you so often, and you go and they hear about your plan and your vision, and they don't see much like on your page, they're like, oh, I think he was just like speaking out of his butt, right? Like, that's just a dream. That's hoo-ha, right? But if you tell them about it and they're excited about it, and then they look you up on the phone and they start following you, and they're like, oh yeah, look at this. There's like 20 posts here. He's meeting the city. He's looking at land. He's secret shopping. He's doing all these things. This person's serious, right? Like, I see what they're getting after. I see what they're looking at, and it makes sense to me.
I think a lot of this is getting out of your own head. I think initially I didn't want to post anything about, hey, I'm starting an assisted living mansion, because first of all, I wasn't even 100% sure or convinced myself that we were actually going to do it. So I didn't want to tell the world if I wasn't actually going to do it ourselves. So I think that was one thing. I had to believe in the deal and believe in myself and know that we were going to get the deal done before I was able to like actually post it on Facebook. And so, or wherever you're going to post. And so I think it's almost like getting over yourself in a way. Like, don't be so cocky to think that like everybody in the world is watching your social media and it's going to make a huge deal if you post something about it, right? I think it's just like a slow play. You're going to just talk about like, hey, like, this is my dream. I've always wanted to do this. And you can post inspirational photos like Brett was saying. But I think a lot of times we think in our own head, like, I don't think people are going to want to see me standing in front of a fire truck. Like, that's kind of lame. I shouldn't post that. Or people aren't going to want to see me going like to planning and zoning. Like, that's super boring. What's just going to be holding me holding some papers and then take a snapshot? Yes. That is documenting your journey. It's as simple as that. And so I think we like overanalyze things in our mind. Like, it has to be like this like minute reel of like all this action-packed stuff for it to be something that people are going to watch. Like, no, it doesn't have to be Instagram worthy. Like, you can just take a picture and post it on Instagram, on Facebook, or wherever you're going to post. And people are going to be intrigued. So I think it's just not overthinking things and just taking action pictures in the moment and literally just pressing that post button. And I'm telling you, you're going to get people who are intrigued and want to invest in your deal.